what a deal, what a deal. Hey guys, it's Jax, and I've got a problem. I just put some fresh baby powder in my hair. Do you know that trick? I have a lot of hair tricks, okay? No, I don't mean like magic, like, here's my beard, whoosh, beard is gone. Not that kind of hair tricks. I'm talking hair care essentials, okay? One of the tricks, if you have a flowing mane and you deal with it becoming greasy looking, oily, as they say, a little baby powder, sprinkle, 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 it will make you look more civilized. I am a civilized man. Oh, you guys, I hope you're doing well today. Let's get after it. Let's get with it. I hope you're doing well. Hope your families are well. Hope you're taking care of business, taking care of your kids, taking care of whatever it is that's in your little sphere of responsibility. Make sure that you're on top of it, okay? If you're not, get after it. Do better.
Tough guy, what are you gonna do about it?
Oh man, so I got a lot of things going on today, and here's the layout. Okay, I'm gonna try to give you the layout quickly, and we're just gonna get right into it. Calving season is just about wrapped up. We've almost got it finished up. It's actually been really well. You've seen in a couple previous episodes some of the things that go along with calving. You saw some of the bitter, nasty cold. We've also had some warm and wonderful. However, that doesn't make as good a content. It's either been like this where it's in like the 40s, or it's been days where it's like 20 below zero and the wind's blowing and you're like, what? Very, very little in between. Very little in between, which is bizarre. Very bizarre. Anyway, so calving season is about wrapped up, which means that old Battle Axe here has to get back on the road, okay? I try, and Rooster may contend this. He's probably watching right now, shaking his head. I try to take about 6 weeks-ish off. I can never take it totally off, but I try to take it mostly off where I can help out and be around to deal with some of the stuff that arises, some of the emergencies that happen and whatnot. Well, that period of urgency is past. There's just a couple dozen cows left out there to calve, and that means it's time to go. So I got to hit the road. But before I hit the road, because when I hit the road, I got a lot of makeup work to do, you see. I've been home for a long time, so I need to go out and replenish the cash reserves. Go into some money, in short, is what I got to go do, which means I'm going to be on the road for a while. And I will do my best to bring you some adventures from the road so that the YouTube's not slacking, you see. But before I can get on the road, I need to get one more episode filmed for you, because when I get back, I'm afraid that it won't quite be there like it is right now, because it may be 2 or 3 weeks before I get back home again. So what I'm going to take you and we're going to do today is I'm going to do a follow-up video on how the feeding went, how the corn and the canola worked together, how the straw worked, how we were able to use the little bit of hay that we have to help keep the cows moving and shaking. I want to show you the cows and how they're looking after being on this unknown, untested trial that we put them through, basically out of necessity. It wasn't ideal, but it was necessary. Let me give you a quick update on the drought situation. Things kind of continue to look the same as they were last summer and fall. If you guys have been following along, you've seen the videos from last summer kind of throughout as I've kept you apprised of our situation. If you haven't, if you're fairly fresh-ish to the channel and you got some time to kill, go way back to the beginning and you'll see kind of the situation and the storyline that's developed here in Montana, where we're at. We've had very little snow this winter, and you don't need a ton of winter snow because the ground's froze and it doesn't do much, but you do need a ton of snow in the mountains, which are just up above us here, because as the snow melts, it runs off into the ponds and the reservoirs and fills all those water bodies up. Right here on our side of the hill, just not getting much, you guys. It's in fact, here's what's weird. You're like, what are you talking about? It's wet. We've had like very little snow and it's been cold. Well, it warmed up here and rained last night, which is weird. Like no snow and then all of a sudden it rains and it's early March. So anyway, I'm starting to feel like, weather can change, but starting to feel like the drought's probably going to persist. With that in mind, we'll see what those adventures bring. But we've learned some things this winter, and I want to show you what we've learned, because it's a game changer for us. If the drought persists, I feel like we have a clear, confident plan forward. Okay, here's a quick review. We're in the commodity shed. That's canola screenings, that mound in the back. Those are canola screenings. Over here, we've got the steam flaked corn. We brought these in as a supplement for the cows. What we've done is we've done a 50-50 mix. we get a scoop of this and a scoop of this. We mix them together and make a pile over here, and this is how it looks. You can see the little black dots in there. That would be canola. Obviously, the corn's the yellow. And lots of other pieces of wheat and some canola straw, some chaff. But we tested it, and the test came back really well. It's a very good supplement for the cows. You remember we brought all that straw back from way yonder? We brought all that straw in. We poured that straw with the protein juice, and the straw has enough by itself. It's got enough nutrition for the cows to get by, but that's it. I mean, just to get by. So what we wanted to do was supplement that straw that would just get the cows by with something that will help keep them progressing and make sure those babies that are in their bellies develop properly and will keep, make strong calves. That's why we brought this grain in, and I want to show you the next piece of the puzzle, which is the hay processor. And this hay processor is a cool machine. It's what brings all of this together and allows it to work in the first place. All right, y'all, this is the Hay Buster. That's the brand. It processes hay. By processing, I mean it chops it up, takes it from its very coarse, long-stemmed form, and it chops it into fine little pieces, which end up looking more like this, that allow for the cows to chew on this and digest it a little better. So the way that it works, and you'll see this, we'll get some video of it in action, but these arms load the bales into the chamber, and then when the bale's in the chamber, there's a conveyor chain. See this? This chain, this entire floor of this chamber, it rotates like a conveyor. And by it doing that, it causes the bale to spin in a circle, right? And this is the cool part of it. I think Rooster's got it open over here. Let's take a peek. Morning, Roost. So, see the bale in there? The bale spins, and these little flails, he turns the power takeoff unit on, and it spins these flails around, yeah. And when that spins, it grabs little chunks off of that bale and shoots them out. And like I say, you'll see all this in action. Come back to this side. Here's where you get a good view now and you'll understand. See them over there? It shoots the hay across to here, boom, drops down to the ground, and makes a nice little windrow of nice finely chopped hay or straw. So our big challenge this year was trying to figure out how are we going to feed the grain with the hay. It's a challenge because you don't want to just dump it out on the ground, because if you put grain on the ground, the cattle can't get it all licked up and you waste some of it. And we're so short on feed and we've had to pay for everything that we have, so we don't want to have any waste, right? Well, it turns out that Hay Buster has this handy dandy little add-on to their machine. Check this out. This is a little grain tank attachment that bolts onto the side. It didn't come with this. We ordered this in. It bolts onto the side of the machine, and it holds about 900 pounds, 1,000 pounds of product. You can see it in the window right there. Any grasshoppers? Nope, no grasshoppers, but that holds the grain. Now in the bottom of this tank, inside here, there's an auger which spins. Basically, it's like a long screw. For those of you that don't know what that is, this hydraulic motor runs it. See here? It runs and it pulls grain from the bottom of this tank over, and then it drops it down into another little auger, which is this guy, and it sends it across. It sends it across here, dumps it into this little chute, and the chute drops it down. Here's what's so cool about this. I just mentioned that you don't want the grain to dump straight on the ground because it can be wasteful. So what this does is this puts hay down first on the ground, and then the grain comes out of here and dumps on top of the hay that's on the ground. So instead of putting grain right on the ground, you're putting grain on the windrow, so the cattle can eat that grain right off the windrow. Now you do lose a little tiny bit still to the ground, but it's like exponentially better than if we just dumped grain out on the grass, on the ground, on the pasture for cattle to eat. So this is the basic flow, and we're gonna go out and I'll explain a little more as we go along.
Did you move any the day before?
Yeah, I moved 3, but did we count those already?
Well, I didn't feed with you yesterday, so I don't know.
No, yesterday I just had 1 more. The day before, I think we'd already added those in. I think it's 109.
So currently, you guys, right now we're up in the feedlot area. You've seen this before in some other videos, but we're up in the feedlot. These cows right here, these are the very latest, last ones that are gonna calve. Probably still 3 weeks away from calving. So because of that, we don't even have them down where we're watching them. They're so far away, they're up here. We kind of keep them out of our hair, which is why they're up in the feedlot. So what we're doing for these cattle is we give them free choice, you call it. Free choice means you can have all the straw that you want. We keep in that feeder, we keep our round bale feeders full of straw, and they can have all the straw that they want. And then we come in and we give them just a little bit of hay, because remember, we do have a little bit of hay, just not very much. So we give them a little bit of hay and a little bit of grain. Right now they're getting about 2.5 pounds of grain per animal each day, and then they're getting about 5 to 7 pounds of hay per day, and then free choice straw. So remember, like I mentioned earlier, the straw is like a baseline. It's like this foundation. It keeps their bellies full, and with that protein juice in it, it gives them enough nutrients that they can get by and survive, okay? Survive is what we're talking about. When times are tough, you try to survive, right? It'll get them by, and then we give them a little bit of grain and a little bit of hay as a protein supplement, a further supplement, so it helps them do even better, okay? So now they're not just surviving. This is the part of the day where they get a little extra whatever. They get a little extra protein. So let me show you the next pen now. Is kind of a special pen to us. These are the little teeny boppers, you guys. These are called replacement heifers. You see, when you have a cow herd, which we have way out in the field, over time they quit producing, you know, they age out basically, and they quit producing babies. So you have to have a fresh crop of young bloods move into the herd every year, because you have old cows that move out of the herd every year. So these are the up and comers. These will be next year's fresh mamas, first timers. They will get they'll get bred this summer, and they'll get to have some first time babies next year. You guys remember us talking about what happens if they're born in the cold and their ears freeze? That would be one that had their ears nipped. There's another one. Last year, you guys, was brutally cold. It was a rough calving season last year. Hence all the nipped ears. They're waiting on me to finish feeding. Fun little fact for us is that these calves, these replacements that are going to be the fresh mamas of next year, they came from our own herd. We keep the little females that we like, and we grow them up, and they get to be on the ranch forever. And everybody loves being on the ranch forever, right?
I'm going to time you on this one.
You gonna time me?
Yeah, just a sec. So it's going to be 30 seconds. Okay, 15. Okay. Oh, look there. Isn't that cute? Oh. Even those little ones like that. Treated straw.
Normally I'd be outside chatting with you, but it started raining and it's caused some problems. Getting the drone a little wet, getting my phone and microphone and everything a little wet. So here's one of the biggest challenges with metering this grain out. You saw the footage, you could see that grain, how it just lays it right down. This was one of the big challenges, okay? We know that nutritionally we needed to give each cow about 2.5 pounds of this mixture is what we decided that, you know, where we wanted to land with that. We always have different numbers of cows in all these different pens, you know, depending on once they've calved, and then we kick them way out into the pasture, so that number's changing. Once they're getting close to calving, we pull them out of the feedlot up there and we bring them down here. So the numbers in all these different pens kind of constantly change. We had to figure out with this auger how many pounds come out of that thing per second. And so we got a bucket and a stopwatch, and we figured out how many pounds come out per second. And once we had that figured out, we could go, okay, well, if each cow needs 2.5 pounds, this is how many seconds we need to have the auger on. What the formula came out to was 2.3 seconds. That auger delivers 2.5 pounds. So it's almost, it was funny kind of how it worked out. So we'll go, okay, we got 100 cows out, you know, out there with calves. Is there 109 right now?
Yeah.
There's 109 right now at this moment. There's 109 cows with calves out there. So you take 109 and you times it by 2.3. That's how many seconds that Rooster needs to run the auger. So then Woo is in here in the Ranger, and she keeps track. You know, she'll cut strings for him, and then she also keeps track on her timer. So Roos doesn't have to carry a timer in there. Another cool thing that we've discovered, these cattle they're really cleaning this grain up. There's very, very, very little waste. That corn, it costs like $250 a ton for that steam flaked corn. We don't want to waste any of it, right? Well, we've gone out and looked as we've been feeding, you know, over the past several weeks. we've gone out and looked, and you find a little flake on the ground here and there, but like hardly anything. I mean, not even enough to be counted as actual wastage. So by that grain, you saw in the video, we put the straw down. This is for the cows out in the field. We put the straw down on the ground, and then he goes back with the little bit of hay and the grain supplement, and he sprays just almost a dusting of hay on top of the straw, and then the grain goes on top of the hay. So you've got all this cushion underneath, and as those cows sit there and nibble and eat at that grain from the top down, by the time they get down to ground level, there's very little waste. It's cool, you guys, it's cool. It's worked out really well. The cows definitely have lost a lot of weight over what they've been in previous years, but I'll be honest with you, our cows have been a little overweight. Just because we've always had plenty of hay, and it was never an issue. So because of that, our cows were fed a little overly well in the winter times, and then in the summer they get fat on green grass anyway. So they're gonna be a little bit leaner. Not dangerously leaner by any means, but probably more like they should be to be a little more efficient. They're going to be a little leaner and greener. Hopefully here in another 6-7 weeks, the grass is going to change and they'll be able to start chasing some green grass. We've counted the bales, we've counted everything. We've got enough hay and straw and grain to get us till April 20th. And usually by then, the cows are not eating a whole lot of what we feed them. They're kind of chasing green grass. So that's the deadline date. That's what we need to make everything hopefully last until April 20th. If I have to, I'll bring in a little more corn, and we'll stretch our supplies a little further. So far so good. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to do a follow-up for you so you could see you've been through this whole drought journey. I honestly feel that the drought journey is going to carry on. I hope that I'm wrong. I would be so glad. I'll be the first guy to say, hey, I was wrong. But I really feel like we're gonna have a third year of this drought and grasshoppers and a lack of things that we need to make the ranch go around. The good thing about this, just in closing, the good thing about this is that we've learned that you absolutely can winter your cows on treated straw bales and a grain supplement and very few bales of hay. So worst case, if we get totally droughted out and we only put up another 100 bales of hay this summer, we are gonna go forward and do the same thing that we did this last year. We'll go gather up a bunch of straw again. I'll bring in some grain with the semi, and I know that we can get by on very little and financially make it work. That's that, you guys. Till next time. Oh, wait, stop. If you haven't shared this channel with your friends, I would so much appreciate it, because it's wholesome and good. And who doesn't love ranching, and who doesn't love trucks? And if you don't love that stuff, you got problems. I don't care if you like it or not. I do like when you subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, let's keep growing, let's keep showing, and I'm gonna bring you some adventures from the road. Bruce, you should start a channel.
Russell, people love you.
Show a fish in a tank. That's the extent of my possible.
You could read books to them. People listen, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Audiobook.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Yeah, you think they'd like? My YouTube channel has 1 5-second video of a fish in a tank. I'm sure they'd be very impressed.
You and Woo could do a spin-off. You know how they always do spin-off stuff? Rooster and Woo. Old in the tooth, but young at heart. Wouldn't that be
The
good?
first part, right?
Well, I guess I'll service my
I
truck.
can't believe Jackson's leaving for 2 weeks.